guys, it's Becky with Design Bundles, and today I'm here and very excited to tell you about using fill patterns in Silhouette Studio. Now, what does that mean? There are actually several ways that you can use patterns in Silhouette Studio, and we are going to talk about how to do that and what you would use patterns for. So let's go ahead and jump over to Silhouette Studio and we'll get started.
So here we are in Silhouette Studio, and this is just a basic design that I have, but what we're going to focus on today are the patterns. Now, I have some beautiful fall patterns that I want to share with you, and it's important to notate that in order to import and use your own patterns in the fill panel, you do have to have the designer edition or higher. And what that means is it will include your patterns in here in this little area, especially down here at the bottom where the user patterns go. Okay, and you can upload and save any pattern there. And this is especially useful if this is a pattern that you use all the time. So that's what we're going to address first. But I just wanted to say that if you do not have the designer edition upgrade, that's okay, because I do have a way for you to still use patterns, and we will cover that under option 2 in just a few minutes, okay? So make sure you stick around and we will get to that. Now, when it comes to importing a pattern, the most important part is after you download it, you want to make sure that you unzip it. So I downloaded this from designbundles.net. I actually really lucked out. It was part of my Plus membership, and I really love when that happens. So the first thing that I'm going to do is I can just right click on it and choose extract all. It'll ask me where I want to save it. I am going to put it right back in the downloads folder, okay? And now we can go right back into Silhouette Studio. Those are extracted. That means that we can access them. We're going to go to File, Library, Import to Library. And then from here, we can locate that downloads folder, open up our patterns, and we can choose any of these patterns that we want to. Now, for this design, I'm going to start with something a little simple. We'll just choose, let's do the Chevron one here. And I will choose OK. It's going to load it into my library. There we go. And it shows up under User Designs. And that's okay. What we're going to do is we're going to click on this. And we're going to drag it down to Patterns. And once we drop it in there, now if I come back to Design, you see how it's popped up right there under our Fill Patterns. So now, okay, just make sure that was separate. Now I can choose that and insert my pattern, and it will completely fill my design just like that. So that's really, really easy. That's probably like the easiest thing that you can do to fill with a pattern. And then in addition to that, you do have some advanced options. You can mirror the pattern. Let's scroll down just a little bit. You can rotate the pattern. So for example, if I want my chevron to be a little side to side or diagonal or up or down, I can change that here. And then I can increase or decrease the scale. Okay, there we go. And then you can even do pan pattern. And what that's going to do is allow you to move it around. Okay, you grab that little compass looking image in the middle, and then you just drag it around until it's positioned where you want it to be. That probably doesn't matter for the chevron one, but it can matter depending on the type of pattern and design that you're using, okay? So now let's go ahead and talk about the other way that you can use patterns. All right, that was just like the most basic ever. I'm going to turn on my line color. Here, we'll just use red for now. And what I can do is just go to File and Merge. And then from there, I can select the same pattern or a different pattern if I wanted to. And that opens it. Now, the reason I used Merge instead of Open is that Merge will bring it straight into the workspace that I'm already in. Okay, so I'm going to send this to back, and that's going to slide it right there behind how I can still see my lines here. And then I'm using a drag box. I'm going to select the pattern and select my cut lines there. open up my modify panel and choose crop. Okay, now obviously I do not get the fancy features that come with filling with a pattern, but I am able to still fill that design with the pattern without needing to rely on having an upgrade available. Now let's talk about reasons why you would want to be able to fill with a pattern. Number one, because now I can use this as either a print and cut or a printable. Maybe I want to put this on a card. Maybe I want to use this for sublimation. I can even save this as a PNG and use it in some sort of digital logo, or, I mean, there's so many things that I can do with any type of file that I set up in Silhouette Studio, because it's just such a robust software. And I know that I say that all the time, but I really, really believe it. So print and cuts and digital formats and sublimation and just on and on and on. Okay, now let's talk about the fact that you can also import your patterns to be able to use it as a mock-up. Okay, so for example, if there is a pattern that I'm going to use, say in heat transfer vinyl, or even for a decal, but we'll use heat transfer vinyl as an example this time. So let me show you another file. And this is just the perfect example. I can't wait to show you. So let me zoom in. What I've done is I have filled my accent pieces with an orange glitter pattern, and then I have filled my fall letters here with a pattern that matches a pattern HTV that I get. Okay, and what I can do is I'm going to paste in my mock-up image. Now this happens to be a mock-up that I purchased from Design Bundles, but I can just as easily take pictures of my own shirt to be able to show my customers what it's going to look like. And we do already have a video on making mock-ups and what you would make mock-ups for, and you can hear me kind of drone on a little bit because I absolutely love using mock-ups. But there's a lot of great useful information in there, and just really being able to do this with my patterns and be able to show my customer what it's going to look like, or just the simple fact that I can see what it's going to look like, and I can tell, you know, okay, do I need, let me show you, let me ungroup this. Do I or do I not need an offset around my words? I'm a big fan of using an offset anytime I'm using a pattern HTV. And as you can see, this one isn't so bad because I do have a lot of definition between the maroon and the white. But, you know, those are options that I can see real life and determine, okay, do I need that offset or do I not? Do I like it better with the offset? Maybe I don't. So I can create mock-ups. I can see for my own visual purposes what it's going to look like. I can also showcase my files. If I sell SVG files, I can show people how awesome they look when it's not just a plain black and white. I can show them what it'll look like in glitter or in a pattern, anything like that. And then of course it's just really great, like we talked about the first time, for that print and cut. So whether you import them and use them with your fill patterns, which I'll admit is really super easy, or whether you import them as an image and crop it down, either way is fine. It's really completely up to you. And, you know, hopefully these two examples inspire you to really think outside the box and use those patterns.
So, what do you think about using patterns? Now, patterns aren't for everybody. You know, you have to, not necessarily have to, but they're most beneficial if you are printing something from Silhouette Studio, because then you will be able to print those wonderful patterns that you want to use, right? But they're also fun for digital things. And, you know, I just feel like it's really good information to have because one day you will need it. So go ahead and file this away for future use. And, if you have any questions, whether it's now or later, make sure you leave those in the comments below, because we always come back and check in with you guys, make sure we answer your questions that you have, and make sure you subscribe to the channel, because we always have a lot of really fun tutorials planned for you right around the corner. So I really appreciate you watching today, guys, and we will see you next time.